Hello, in this episode of Master Your Tools, I'll show you all about the Regularizer script in 3ds Max. Now, when you want to download this, make sure you use the Edge Loop Regularizer for Edit Poly, and that way work with Edit Poly modifier as well. Link to this is in the description. So here I've got a little test object. And guys, if there's any more uses that I have not covered in this video, be sure to let me know. What's your favorite way to use Regularizer? Alright, so essentially what you can do is just select some polygons here. Press your hotkey for it, and it turns into a circle. At this point, you can add further detail and just continue modeling like so. So it's very good for quickly getting circular details. What you can also do is, let's say I select this Regularizer and I select this Regularizer. What I can now do is like activate snap, vertex snap, and kind of cut in between here. And now I've got this cool little detail right here. You can always re-regularize things as well. And now I can select both of these objects and further bevel this. And now we have this nice little detail here. Let's apply some support loops. And then let's say turbo smooth. And you have this little detail right here. Regularizer also works on curved surfaces, but not by default, because if you just use Regularizer, it will not only maintain the curvature, but that is easily fixed if you use face constraints. And now it maintains the curvature of your mesh right here. Another really cool thing is that you can even use it on angles here. You may have a little bit of a problem, but it actually works pretty well. So you select your faces right here. And so you don't just want to press that. I mean, you can do it because you will get some cool effects. So one thing I want you guys to know is that you can actually get some cool effects by just selecting any group of polygons and using Regularizer on it. As you can see, now we have this new interesting detail here. Notice that loops don't work here, so what I would do is select these faces. We can hold down Shift. Now we can just do a little bit of inset right here. Now we've got that going on here. So you can get all sorts of cool details like this. But what you can do with those is you can actually activate, once again, face constraints. And now I use Regularizer. It may not be absolutely perfect here, but you get a pretty good result. And so now what you can do is bevel this. I like to use make planar, which is kind of averages things out. Re-regularize this. Let's say, rotate it, planar on the z-axis, re-regularize, scale, and then I have this pretty fast, cool detail right here. You may have to fix up some things here. So for example, I would press S and Alt D for axis constraints, make sure the z-axis is active, kind of snap it right here. So a little bit of fixing up, and maybe even out here. And as you can see, you can very easily create this detail here as well. We can, let's say, do the same on this edge. So if I just, without constraints, press Regularizer, we get this. If I activate face constraints, regularize. As you can see, we get some pretty cool details very quickly. So essentially, you can just select any group of faces here, perhaps move them, regularize. Sometimes you get this result right here, so you can just go in here and just kind of rotate this. Kind of fix it up here. And if you get a bad result, guys, and you're not quite sure what to do, you can simply delete this, select this, and just kind of reset up the topology here. But you still get that nice circle result. Anytime you need some geometry here to kind of emerge into a circle, this is very good for places to put your details, your nuts and bolts and things like that. Alright, you can also use Regularize for even more purposes. Let's say we've got this, and let's say that we're modeling this. I'm going to go ahead and use Tessellate. And then let's say we extrude this up and again, and then we insert some loops through here. Alright, I can select, for example, this right here, use Regularizer. We've got this, and we can just kind of scale that, and we've got this quick detail right here. Now we do have this happening here, so to solve that, we have several options. We can, for example, select all these edges and more, and go into modeling, and then loops, and then loop tools, then just use straight. We can do that. We can select all of these and use center multiple times until it kind of centers out. You can also simply just remove these edges, and if you need them, you can reinsert them again. So now we can, for example, inset here and bridge, and there you go, guys. So it's a highly useful script, and I can't imagine using any program without it. You can use it for a lot of purposes. You can even, for example, select that, deselect this, regularize this. So now I kind of have a rounded result here. So it's very good for quickly getting joints. And so what you can also do is select this, for example, and then detach as a clone, select the new object, flip the faces, kind of scale this out. And so what you've got here is just this quick joint, so you don't have to always create a cylinder from scratch. You can just do this right here, center the pivot, and then perhaps you can link this, and then now you can just kind of rotate around here. So sometimes you don't always want to have to create a new cylinder. You can just kind of extract from your current objects and get this as well. One more example I want to give is on a cylinder. So I will switch this to 32 sides and one height segment. I'm just going to select this, extrude, scale, and just do this right here. Now I'm going to insert some loops through here. All right, so what I can do is actually, let me just make this more complex by selecting this, and I will select these edges, loop, sharp, and then open subdiv. All right, so I've got this. So what I can do is kind of select this and grow. So once again, remember face constraints, regularize, and now you can get this right here. So it kind of saves you time on Boolean as well to get this. So thank you for watching, and take care.